So what was that? That was lap 31. Okay. Welcome back to the Canadian Grand Prix for Formula FG. Riding here with championship leader Jack Hunsley. Nothing has changed during the break. It's not gotten particularly wetter or anything, but the track is still extremely wet.
After the pit stops, Engbering has fallen back to 7th and Karen in 10th, while Sigulakis is looking on the inside of Harvey. Where's the Rotterdam with this?
Yes. And there you go, that was interesting because Rautavaara ended up last, didn't he? After hitting his teammate early in the race.
Well, as I said back then, if he has a bit of luck, he goes back to the top 10, and he is 12th, I believe, at the moment. So, Rotterdam looking for a good result here.
Indeed. Meanwhile, Jack Hunsley. I wonder if last round at Monaco, because he retired, I wonder if that has put him out of mindset a little bit. He's not been on red hot form. He took pole. Pole was a bit of a formality for him, but this race he's made a few mistakes and he doesn't seem to be running at the pace. DTK seemed to have made a bit of a strategical error because he was running okay, but he's now down in 3rd and a long way behind Utsa. And don't even talk to him about how far behind he is on Pablo Deal. That's even further.
18 seconds. That's a big gap. Only pit stop. Of course, Hensley has pitted twice with Deal only once, but still.
And if this race ends up going dry, you have to say the only way that Hunsley's going to have any chance is if he has to stay on the wets. In which case, that's not going to last very long before it's an absolute disaster.
So yeah, Hunsley probably bits of troubles with his strategy during the race. Hasn't paid off for him yet. While it has for, of course, the BRTs. They are in 1-2 at the moment. There's Deal almost going to left the first part of the race.
And it's remarkable seeing, many cars have gone close again lapped, but for whatever reason haven't been. But now it seems that Deal's finally going to start that. Meanwhile, here we have Saeed in his home sweet home position 11, somewhere that's been the home of Manolis Sigulakis in recent times rather than Mr. Saeed, but in the nicest way possible. It's good to see him back there.
Of course, he wouldn't be happy being himself at 11, because there are points. But yeah, he has stopped twice instead of some others in front of him. So maybe he has the opportunity to go back into top 10 again.
Very much so. Coming into the last third of this race, anything's possible. I mean, it doesn't seem to be raining much more anymore, in which case the track is only going to get drier. And then, who is going to be the bravest? Who is going to be the first? Who is going to be the pioneer to go onto the dry tyre? Who will take the risk for the largest reward? Because if you can get on the tyre quickly, you might just find yourself leading the race.
If the track keeps drying, of course, if there's a dry light very soon, then you have benefits of your dry tires. But if the track still keeps wet, then you have a slight problem.
And this is when you look down at the people somewhere around 12th, 13th, 14th. You know, they want to start looking at hopping on the dry tire quicker than the others. If you're in third, fourth, or second even, you know, you might not want to. You might want to hold out a little bit and make sure that it's the right decision. Meanwhile, we're watching McNamara and Kernan, and they're both chasing down Rob Sharp, who's actually getting away from McNamara a little bit here. So it's a very good race so far for the Brit.
Satisfied when Sharp finishes in the points, but so far he's more busy driving in second place.
Routavara, rather, very slowly out of the first and second corner complex. Holding up Sigalakis a little bit, perhaps.
Just some airtime for the new Apex livery after the special livery in Monaco. Manager Anchevsky has brought another livery to Montreal. This will stick for the rest of the season.
I did notice, having a look at the cars just after practice, I think one of the sponsorship stickers, I'm not sure how it's happened necessarily, but it seems like it's made for advertising in Australia because it's upside down. So whether that works and whether it creates more sales in Australia, maybe even New Zealand, you never know. That's yet to be seen, but by all means, I tip my hat. It's good to see that some people finally waking up and realizing that Australia needs advertising too. Meanwhile, deal goes wide. But he's still got 8.3 seconds on Utsa, so he's actually getting away a little bit. Even if the race goes dry here, I'm starting to think he's sewn it up.
His teammate Utser goes to the hairpin onto the back straight. Probably able to see the back of his teammate who goes faster to the chicane.
Now, of course, I said that. I think Utsa made up 1.6 seconds through the second sector of the lap, so I don't really know what I'm talking about half the time. But we'll see how much longer that continues.
Small mistake from Deal seems to have cost him more than a second.
Oh, hello. Routavara seems to have made a mistake as well. He's now behind, as somehow I've ended up at Engbrink, who's trying to get past the other Apex car. Here we go. Routavara goes wide there. Allows Sigalakis through, and Okelsager right onto the back of him. But now back towards the front. Engbrink on Harvey. Leaves Harvey out high and dry. Ironically, on a wet track. But gets through.
Very confident on the wet surface. 6.
Now Engbrink here, he's only 3.5 seconds behind Foro. He's been shown, he showed in Malaysia he was extremely fast in the wet. And Australia. And he's been shown at various times through the season to have a very good race pace on him. So 3.5 seconds, it's 3.6 actually now to Foro. There's no reason why he couldn't.
And so far as I know, Tim Engbrink still also has the fastest lap of the race. I haven't seen anyone beating him in 1:17 so far.
I don't believe anyone has. I have to agree. I definitely haven't seen it. And if this race doesn't get any drier, well, arguably he has captured that. Meanwhile, Utsa actually seems to be catching Deal a little bit. Might just be on slightly fresher tyres.
Yes, he has lost something in the previous lap. It was 6 seconds, and now it's already 7.2.
Meanwhile, McNamara might have made a bit of a mistake there. Karinen's going to have a look. Teammates gets the job done. No collisions. Always good to see. So Karinen through there, you have to ask the question, was there any team orders perhaps? McNamara has had extremely good recent few races, strong top fives, I think in 2 of the past 3. Really been able to turn his season around. But today, 10th place. In a weird race, that doesn't seem so bad. Hunsley here. Still 9 seconds behind Utsa. We'll have a look, see how much that is when he gets to the finish line. 8.9, so he's not really catching a lot through the last sector. Might be catching a bit at other places. Is it still 7.3 to Deal? $7.1, a little bit of an improvement, not that much.
And back to Hunsley, that was 8.8 seconds, 8.9. So extending his lead over Hunsley and slowly closing in on him.
Now here we have Harvey. He's losing time to Angbrink quite a lot. Not Sharp, of course. He's got to really look forward, because if he starts looking backwards, he's going to see those he's going to see the two 2KF1s coming for him. So it's better to look forward, try to catch Harvey, then look backwards and get worried about what's coming up from behind.
Hunsley, 8.6 seconds to Utsa. So again, closing in a little bit in the last sector, but losing in the first 2.
Here's Dovizioso. Bit of a shame this race just hasn't gone smoothly. He too, he's a few occasions this season, he's had some fantastic pace. He's shown what a good driver he can be in the right occasions. He's gotten a podium, I believe it was Spain, but today is not the same sort of day. Meanwhile, gap back from Deal was 6.9 at the last sector. It's now 7. So the BRT's holding station. Hunsley trying to catch Utsa. But with 12 laps to go. Bit of wishful thinking that he can make it. He's going to have to really start hustling if he wants to start breaking down that 8.4 seconds. Well, it's 8.1, so he's doing the right sort of thing.
And still, podium position is pretty good for Hunsley, and he will keep his lead in the championship, of course. But for the Constructors Championship, BRT is doing a pretty good job at the moment. great gap closer to the TK.
Here is Harvey in 7th.
4.2 seconds behind Engbrink and just 2 seconds in front of Sharp. Sharp again catching Harvey by 9/10 of a second.
There's Sharp and Karen. Indeed, his deal. Still holding control. He's got 10 laps to go. He'll be looking for his 3rd victory. I believe it's 3rd of the season. Don't quote me on that. It's definitely more than 1.
I think he definitely won Brazil, and after Spain, I think he had his 2nd in Spain, so this would be a 3rd.
Yes. And so far he's won. Well, if he can win today, he will have won both the races held on the Americas. Brazil being in South America, Canada being in North America. As Karen tries in vain around the outside at turn 2 to get past Rob Sharp.
Well, no, is pitting again.
So I wonder if Elite 2 just forgot to put in enough fuel for their team boss there. His deal. It's a very blue sky. I wonder if Noak might be taking the risk with about 9 laps to go. Hop onto a dry tyre. See if he can get anywhere. We might go and try to find him.
He's in 18, so he could take the risk.
Nope, he seemed to have bolted on a new set of wets. So, yeah, questions to be asked down in the Elite 2 bunker tonight. But you have to say that if everything goes according to plan, nothing at all. No questions need to be asked about this man today. He's put in a fantastic drive. Driven the car smoothly. Not worried when it started getting wet. And yet...
Pressure of Karen, I believe, or no, it's McNamara? No, it's Karen.
It is Karen, indeed.
Karen right into the gearbox of Sharp. Looking into the inside. Maybe? No, he doesn't.
Karen been in the simulated careers a lot longer than Sharp, so if Sharp can keep him behind, that'll be a fantastic effort for the rookie Brit. It's been a tough season for him so far, but he saw points in Imola and San Marino for Evo GP while it was still under the guise of its Indonesian manager. That has since changed. OMR, Online Martini Racing, have come in since. Dimas scored points last time out for the Martini sponsored team. Sharp might be looking to repeat that. 2 races in a row, perhaps.
It would be a great result for Online Martini Racing, because after the terrible start of the season, slowly catching some points.
And you have to say, once that starts happening, I mean, it's come out during the week that a few drivers have signed contracts for next season already, or they've got contracts in place. And so with that, you know, Rob Sharp, he's putting in some fantastic performances in what is arguably a subpar car as one of the monsters. That's Barrett. the lone monster going, still going, just slides off the track a bit. But no, Sharp, he's got to be an enticing prospect. I mean, if he can do this well in the poor car, imagine what he can do in a good car.
And he would be fighting for podiums, probably.
For some teams, they might be looking for a different driver, a new driver, a replacement. That's a tantalizing prospect to be able to give their car to him. Here's Engberink. He's caught up to Foro, and Foro's going to keep him high and dry around the outside. Oof.
But that means Engberink has caught up to Foro, but also Hunsley isn't Ringo. Ringo is also not far in front of Foro. So
Indeed.
it's going to be a tough fight for 4th place.
Rinho will probably be feeling, there's only 6 laps to go after this. You'd probably be thinking, just about home and hosed. Not the case. He's going to have a very difficult fight by the looks of it. Here is Ratavara. 13th place, not too bad considering he was in the gravel trap in last position.
I do have to say, the delivery of Apex now looks a lot prettier than before Monaco. It was all shiny and stuff, and now it's just beautiful, pure blue. But that's just my opinion.
It is good to see that there are so many different colours on the grid. I mean, it's... Hello. Very interesting. It could have been very easy for a lot of teams to be the same colour as I think he's got it done. Yep.
Yep. Behind. Jaws moves up another place. And now hunts for Ringo.
Jaws is on the move yet again in the wet. It won't be for the win this time, but it'll be for a very good result nonetheless. A result that I don't think he's seen since Malaysia. Uh-oh, here's Rob Sharp. What's happened here? There's an oil leak on his car. He had it at that point. And he's just had to let Kernan through. He's had to let McNamara through. It's too far. I don't think he'll be able to make it. And there you that is a massive shame. With just about 5 laps to go, and there goes the engine. And it's lost the will to live. It is now on fire.
No way he can make it back to the pit. At this back straight he will surely break down. Or he would have done a masterpiece putting that car back to the pit.
That is a massive shame. I think he easily had 10th place at worst. He's broken down. He's now in 11th. And he's not even...
Oh, he made it back to the pit.
Oh.
He just gravel trap and he's over for him.
Smart move there. You have to applaud that. Don't take a smouldering car into pit lane where, if the engine decides to go pop, bang, fizzle and send a lot of debris everywhere, he'll park it in the gravel trap where nobody should really get hurt.
And of course a fire in the pit lane with all those gas tanks isn't smart either.
No. So a good move there. Very thoughtful of his fellow racers. Massive shame, but he did the right thing. So we've had 2 retirements this race. One in the Wall of Champions and one with an oil leak that has caused a combustible engine to combust completely. So we watch here Rautavaara. Now, actually, that retirement brings forth a very interesting result. That Manolis Sigulakis is in 11th.
And Said in 10th.
Indeed.
So, for him, and Sigulakis back in that horrible 11th spot.
Whereas Said is starting to shake off the demons. He has moved into 11th. Moved out of 11th, I should be saying.
He has given the place of shame to Manolis. Meanwhile, Engbrink, 6 places up from the starting position. He of course started in 11th.
McNamara's up 7. He's the best in the top 10 so far. Whereas you look at Hunsley and Rinyaho, both moved backwards too. They've both been overtaken by the BRTs. Simple as that.
Harvey, Kernan and Said putting in strong performance, not losing or gaining a position. While we have just 3 laps to go, Deal is going to pass start finish soon. We'll go on to the first, still 3 laps to go. And it will be a solid drive to the end for him if his car doesn't break down.
And we've just seen the Evo GP went down in a ball of flames effectively. So it's possible. Could happen at any stage.
Of course.
Not to worry you, but the engine in the back of the Evo GP is very similar to the one in the back of a Speedy.
Well, but so far I know.
Ooh!
The Evo, that's Rinho. Rinho is off. Engbrink goes past. But what did Rinho do there?
Ooh, he's in a battle there with Engbrink. And just trying to keep him behind so hard. The pressure got to him. Engbrink. He does that to people. He's got a style of pressure that's just relentless. It does not stop.
Well, he's Jaws. Who isn't scared of Jaws?
Indeed. You can just see that bright red car. Meanwhile, there's the second Speedy. Sigulakis has put himself into the wall at the first corner. Here we go. We'll have a look on the onboard replay. Throws it into the corner.
Slides
And
off into the wall. And that's the first retirement of Speedy Racing this year. And it's on name of Manolis Sigulakis.
now there was the engine seemed to over rev extremely then. A very high pitched noise coming from the engine. Sigulakis did pretty well, I think, to almost keep it on the track. Oh, hello.
Maybe Manolis is so pissed off losing his first position to Engbrink next year. He just thought van, well, I don't care, I'm going to steer it into the wall.
So that's what happened there. Rautavaara had no fear going into that lone wheel, which has now gotten quite a long way down the track to where Sigulakis is actually parked. Meanwhile, Deal, 2 laps to go now to taking a massive step forward in this championship and really igniting the constructors' battle between BRT and DTK. Utsa here. Now here's Dimas, he's in 13th. I don't think he's going to get anywhere close to the antics that he did last race. Getting into the top 10, he's going to have to hope that 3 people ahead crash out. Now, you know, we've seen 2 retirements in about as many laps, but I don't think we're going to see 3 and that quickly.
But yeah, the track seems to dry up a bit. Maybe the wet tires are starting to lose grip, so anything can happen.
Anything could happen. It does seem, yeah, it does seem to be in a bit of a grey zone. You know, which tire is best? Well, probably neither. Neither are suited for it. Rinyaho here, he's going to want to keep Foro behind. They'll secure him an extra 2 points. Meanwhile, we're on to the final lap of the race now, with Pablo Deal leading. We'll stay with him on this final lap. It really has been a fantastic drive by the Brazilian today. I can't find any faults.
Same food, sir. Both strategy of BRT has paid off. Just one stopper. Seems like it's faster than the two stop, which DTK did, and they are in 3rd and 5th. And now BRT really scoring some points here, and of course Deal with his 3rd win of the season. Only thing he has to do is survive this long straight and the Wall of Champions, and then he has his 3rd victory in the bag.
Indeed. But I mean, at the same time, as we saw, he could put it into the Wall of Champions, and I think he'd get pretty close to the line if he plants the foot down. But let's hope that it doesn't come to that. And as he comes through the final chicane, he will keep it out of the wall. And now, barring a meteor strike or anything, he will win the Canadian Grand Prix. And, well, game on for the rest of the season now.
This is going to be a battle between Hunsley and Deal for the rest of the season. Of course, Hunsley scoring a decent 3rd position against some points. Engbrink or Jaws. Brilliant job from 11 to 4. 12 points for him. Rinho and Foro will complete top 5 of top 6. Harvey scoring for Apex. Good result for them. Curran in 8th. McNamara will claim 9th. And Said will claim the last point in 10th position.
The unlucky runners to be out of the top 10. They will be headed by Rautavaara, who will come across the line in 11th. We should expect. He's got right on his gearbox Thomas Ockelsager for Viper in their home race. Massive shame for them today. Nowak will take 13th with Dimas, Barrett, Burner coming in 16th for Antec, another home team actually, I do believe. Dovizioso Lindner on his debut will take 18th position, which isn't as bad as it sounds. Black will come across in 19th, and that'll be that. 3 retirements through the race, but spoils the victory today to Pablo Deal, and BRT will have a look and confirm the results. There we have it. Deal, Utsa, Hunsley is the podium with Engbrink in 4th, Rinyaho 5th, Foro 6th. Harvey, Karen and McNamara Saeed is the rest of the points. Then we'll have Rautavaara, Ockelsager, Nowak, Dimas, Barrett, Burner, Dovizioso, Lindner, Black. Then after that, we've got 3 retirements, only one of which is classified as being non-classified, and that's Chaco, who had an accident into the Wall of Champions. Otherwise, we'll have Sigalakis, who also had an accident, and Sharp had his oil leak, but otherwise they will be classified finishers 3 laps down and 6 laps down. We'll have a quick check of the fastest laps of the race, and it did in fact go to Engbrink quite early in the race for Speedy, 1 minute 17.291, which is 0.8 of a second off pole, and would have qualified him about 20th. So, as you can see, very interesting. And we'll have a quick look at the lap chart as well to see Where it went right, where it went wrong. As you can see, Huntsley double pit. The second one was probably brought about sooner rather than later due to the rain. Definitely those who pitted, similar to Deal, well, Deal and Rinyaho, that's just very interesting there. That Deal should do so well. Rinyaho followed him in, but they ended up being first and fifth by the end of the race. Have a little bit more of a look down. We'll have a look at Rob Sharp to see how he was doing. Fantastic effort to get into the 8th. He was running in 8th for quite a while.
Took full advantage of the pit stops until his oil started to leak. Shamefully enough for him.
Lindner had a very up and down race. He was a bit of a yo-yo. Did better than a couple of others though by staying out of the walls, which is good to see. McNamara too had a decent race. Got a long way up. Engbrink, well, you know, he never really went down. He had a pit. He had 2 pits, but he didn't really seem to go down. It was a consistent upward trend for the Dutchman today. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the Canadian Grand Prix. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it. Interesting that I think that's one of the first races that we've really had in a wet-dry situation, if I'm not mistaken. A proper wet-dry situation. Nonetheless, big thank you to Leslie for joining me today in the commentary box.
Well, no problem, Aiden. Pleasure from me also being here. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
No problems, and we will be seeing him a bit later in the season. So, you know, everybody, if you couldn't get his autograph this week, it's okay. He will be back next time, and you can get his autograph then. I know I will be for sure. Nonetheless, from here in Canada today, I'd like to thank you for joining us, and good night.